Shabbat Shalom, welcome, welcome. Shabbat Shalom Mishpacha, Hayom Nikra Tehillim, Aleph Aleph Be'Ivrit. So today we're going to read Psalms chapter 1 in Hebrew. Welcome once again. My name is Morey Ben Yamin. So I don't know the teacher with there. And today we're going to go over Psalm chapter 1 verse 1. It's going to be a slow read. By the time this video is done, you should be able to read Psalm chapter 1 verse 1 smoothly. So let's dive right into it without any further ado. So we like to go to the browser first and foremost. Open up your browser and let's go to blueletterbible.org. And once it comes up, you can type Psalms 1 verse 1, then change your version to WLC. I can't find mine. Then click on search. And so we're going to read through it, and then we're going back over it with my slides. Remember, Hebrew is read from right to left, correct? All right. Ashrei Cha'ish Asher Lo Halach Ba'atat Reshaim Uvederech Chataim Lo Amad Uve Moshav Leitim Lo Yashav. Okay, so now we're going to go over it once again with our slides. Okay. So we're going to look at it word by word, syllables by syllables. As you already know, I like to color code my syllables to make it easier for you to read. This is our Aleph. Aleph is a silent letter, so we're going to pronounce the patak, which is an A-class vowel. Ah. So sheen, the dot is on the top right, which makes the SH sound, as in sh, be quiet. This is our shawa. Shawa is not at the beginning, nor is it at the end, but it is it came after a short vowel. So a short vowel preceded it, which means it's going to be silent. So this is going to be a closed syllables. Ash, followed by your reish, which is an R letter, but you make that R sound as if you're gargling water. Reish. Followed by your tere yud. This vowel, you mix it as if you're smiling. A, tere. So this syllable is going to be ray. Ashray. Ashray. So ashray is translated as happy or blessed. Okay. Ha-ish. So this here, so during this slide, you're going to see all the prefix are going to be in blue, and all the suffix are going to be in the color pink. So this prefix here is actually your definite article. The definite articles in Hebrew, which is translated as the in English, are inseparable. They're prefixed to words in Hebrew. So this is your the. Notice that the definite article is not written today with your hey, patak, and your dagesh forte. And this is because your aleph is a guttural letter. It's silent, but it's also a guttural letter. And all gutturals reject all dageshes. So it kicks it out the park or hits it out the park, and it fell underneath the patak, which makes it into a kamat. So it changes from a short vowel to a long vowel, which is what they call compensatory lengthening to make it longer. So the. This is your hirik yud, which goes e. You already know about your shin, which makes a sh sound as in quiet. Ish. Ish. So the word for man in Hebrew is ish. So the man. Ish. Again, we have our aleph, which is silent, followed by your atef patak, which is a reduced version of the patak, shorter vowel. You already know about the shin. Now this is your segol. It goes eh. Tere goes A, Sego goes E. So share. You already know about your resh, which makes a r sound. Share. Asher. Asher, which means which, who, which, or that. Lo. This is your lamed, which makes a l sound as in lamed. L. This is your olam, which is your O class vowel, O, followed by your silent aleph. Lo. This is your negative in Hebrew, which means no or not. Next we have ha, lach. So we already know the hey, the kamatz, we already know the lamed, we already know the patak, la. This is your final chaf, your chaf sofit, followed by your shawa. So the shawa is at the end of the word, which means it is silent. So your chaf goes ch. So the silent shawa is not going to make any sound. So this is just going to be, so lach, lach, ha, lach. Now, as I said, the prefix are going to be in color blue. This hey here is not the definite article. And a good way to know is that the lamed can take dagesh and there's no dagesh there. This is just the word halach, which means your walk, to walk. We have halakha, which also means a tradition that came from this word, okay? But this word here means walk, halach, halach means walk. Now we have a prefix here. This is a bait preposition, which means in, with, or by. Notice the dot in the middle. If there's a dot in the middle of the bait, it makes it into a hard sound, which is pronounced b as in boy. We already know the patak. So this letter is gonna be ba. This is your ayin, which is your second silent letter. We have two silent letters, your aleph and our ayin. So it's going to make the sound of your hatef patak, which is the A class vowel. Ah. Now we have our sadi, which makes the TS sound, as in boots, followed by a patak. Ta. Now we have our tau. There's no dot in the middle, which is going to be pronounced th, as in T8. So tat. Ba atat. Tat atat. Ba atat. So in the counsel or advice. We already know the resh, which makes a r sound, the R sound, as if you're gargling your throat with some water. Now we have our shawa. Now the shawa is at the front of the word, which makes it vocal. When the shawa is vocal, it makes a small e sound. So this is going to be pronounced re. We already talked about our sheen, sha. We're talking about our silent aleph, and we're to talk about our hirik yod, makes e. Now we have our mem. When our mem is at the end of a word, the sound doesn't change, but the shape of the mem changes to a more square looking shape. Still m as in mother. So im. So the suffix are going to be in pink. So your hirik yod mem suffix, thus these three letters, your yod, hirik, and mem are going to be your masculine plurality. That's what it means, masculine plural. So the reshaim, which means ungodly ones, are the wicked ones. So ashrei ha'ish asher lo halach ba'atzat reshaim. We have three of these slides. I break it down in three portions. So this is going to be our second portion. Uve derech ataim lo amad. So now we have our wow, which means and or but. When it's put before, when our conjunction wow is placed before a bait, mem, or pay, it takes on the shuruk, which is your U class vowel. So this is going to be pronounced U. Now we have our bait here, but it's not a bait anymore because it doesn't have the dagesh leni in the middle, which would normally harden the sound. So now it's going to be pronounced V as in Victor. This shawa is going to be vocal, because it's preceded by a long vowel. Uve. This is your dalet, which makes the D sound as in dalet, followed by your sego, which goes so de, reish, followed by your re, and your final chaf, your chaf sofit, which goes ch, so rech, de, rech, ve derech, uve derech. This means and in, or and in with or by. Derech, which means the road or the pathway or walkway. Ata'im. Now we have our dagesh forte. Which dagesh forte is made to double the sound of the letter. This is your tet, which goes t as in tet. So this means you're gonna imagine one of the T sounds is going to be with a silent shower, which is going to close these syllables. Then the next tet is going to be pronounced with, sorry about that. The next tet is going to be pronounced with the kamats, ta. And we already know our im suffix, which denotes masculine plurality, im, ata'im. So not just one sinner, but all the sinners, or many sinners. This is your lo, which denotes negative, lo, no or not. Ahmad. So we already know about our ayin, which is silence, followed by a kamat, ah. Now this is what the mem looks like when it's not placed at the end of a word, which is still pronounced m as in mother. Ma, then the dalet d, mad, amad, which means to stand. Uve derech ataim, so and in with or by the way, ataim of the sinners, lo, do not, amad, stand. Okay, the last slide, last portion of it. Uve moshav leitim lo yashav. We already talked about our uve, which means end with or by. Mo, we already talked about our mem, which makes a m sound as in mother. We already know the olam. Now the next new letter is our wow with the olam. This is called an olam wow, which means it is now an unchangeable long vowel, and it's a little bit longer sound. So mo. This is your sheen. You already know your sheen, patak, and your veit, which is going to be pronounced shav. Uve mo shav. Uve mo shav. So that means end with or by the seating area, the seats. Okay, so and in the seat. Lay team. You already know your lamed makes the L sound, and your tere makes the A sound. Lay team, and you already know your hirik yod mem suffix. So more than one scornfulers. Okay, in the scornful, in the seat of a scornful. Lo, you already know this is your negative, which means do not or no. Ya, shav. This is your yod, which makes the y sound as in yellow. And your kamat, which is your ya, followed by your shin, kamat, veit, which makes the shav sound. Ya shav. So do not sit. This is a sit. So your verb for sitting. So do not sit. Uve moshav leitim lo yashav. Okay, so let's try to do another read of it once again. See if you can see my mouse. Ashrei ha'ish asher lo halach ba'atzat reshe'im uvederech chata'im lo amad uve moshav leitim lo yashav. Awesome, good job guys. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know how this class was. Leave a comment. Toda Rabbah Alitz Via. Until next time, Le'id Traot. Shalom.